Hello, I'm Kirsty. I've designed this yoga sequence to work on our core strength and our arm strength and to work on our balance, which will be essential for surfing and will really help us to progress and be prepared. You can use a mat if you have one, but it's not essential. Just find some space and maybe a carpeted floor or a rug. And if you've got a couple of pillows, you might want them, but again, they're not essential. So let's get started. Sit down and bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open to the sides and bring your cushions, if you're using them, underneath your thighs. You can hold on to your shins and sit tall, finding length in your spine and reaching up with the crown of your head, keeping a slight tuck in your chin. And know that when we're moving through the poses, it doesn't matter so much what they look like, and it doesn't matter what they look like in your body as you're doing them. What's more important is the sensation that you feel and your own experience and where your edge is. So we do want to challenge ourselves because we want to build strength and progress, but we don't want to hurt ourselves because that would put us back and be counterproductive. So we find our edge and find acceptance for that and work from there. And when we can fully accept where we are now today, then we can enjoy the process more and enjoy what we're doing. And we'll find that we relax, have fun, and make more progress than we would otherwise. We'll find that we reach our goals and they surprise us when we reach them because we were having fun. So bring your knees back together, move your cushions out of the way if you were using them, and sit in a comfortable position with your legs crossed, or you can sit back onto your heels, or you can even sit on a chair here. Bring your fingers to the ground just on either side of you. Sit tall, find that tuck in your chin again, and just drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Breathing fully, long and smooth breaths. Bring your head back to center, find the tuck of your chin, and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And exhale fully. Inhale your head back to center. And we'll bring some rolls into our head, so drop your left ear to your left shoulder and then gently let your chin fall forwards, bringing your head around the bottom and just gently bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Coming back the way we just came, just gently drop your chin down around the center and bring your left ear back to your left shoulder. We'll do that one more time. And we breathe fully as we move and keep our awareness and our attention fully on this moment right now and on our sensations and our experience as we move and as we breathe. Bring your fingertips onto the top of your shoulders and bring your elbows to touch in front of you. With your inhale, reach your elbows up and draw some circles with your elbows, dropping your elbows down the back as you exhale. Inhale, bring them around center and reach them up. And exhale, drop them around the back. One more like this. We move with our breath, and our breath is linked to the movement as part of the practice. Release your arms and come to sit onto your heels with your big toes touching, your knees wide. Walk your hands forwards and you can be here on your elbows with your chest higher, or you can reach your hands out in front of you and drop your chest and your forehead down to the ground. This is child's pose. If you ever need a rest or just want a rest, then you're always more than welcome and encouraged to rest in child's pose. Know that it's your yoga practice, and do what's good for you and whatever you need, and every day that will be different, what you need from your practice. Walk your hands back, sit onto your heels, and then come forwards. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance apart, and your knees under your hips, hip distance apart. Tuck your toes and press your hands into the mat to find a slight round in your upper back. So you're not just hanging and dumping here with your upper back. Instead, you're engaged and pushing your back up towards the ceiling slightly. Keep your lower ribs tucked in slightly, and just keeping your back as it is. Hover your knees off of the ground about 1 centimetre off of the ground. And notice what becomes active and what is working to hold yourself in this position. Notice the sensations as your body holds you here. Then press your hips up and back to make a sort of triangle shape with your body. This position is called downward facing dog. We really prioritise keeping a length in your spine and keep a generous bend in your knees. As we inhale, we'll bring our heels up high over our toes, round through our back, and bring our shoulders over our wrists. Then with our exhale, bend your knees, either bring them all the way to the mat or just to hover, and press your hips up and back to downward facing dog again. We'll do a couple of rounds like this. Inhale, bring your heels high, round forwards. And exhale, bend your knees, press your hips up and back. Inhale, rounding forwards, shoulders over wrists, and exhale, bend your knees and press your hips up and back. Inhale, bring your heels high over your toes, round forwards, and we'll sustain here. So one option, you can bring your knees onto the mat and really keep engaged here, keep a tuck in your tailbone. Or, to challenge yourself further, keep your knees high and press out through the back of your heels and out through the crown of your head in one long line for high plank. We'll stay for one more breath. Inhale and exhale. Now bring your knees to the ground if they aren't there already. Bring your hips down. Untuck your toes and keep your chest lifted. Find a slight tuck in your chin to lengthen through the back of your neck. And really engage your back muscles to lift your chest up off of the ground. Check that it is your back muscles that are working here by hovering your hands. Now drop your chest and extend your hands out in front of you. Bring the insides of your big toes to touch and turn your pinkies so that they're facing to the ground. Inhale, again, raise your feet up off of the ground, raise your arms alongside your ears and lift your chest. With your exhale, bend your elbows and drag them back along the sides of your waist. And inhale, reach your hands forwards again and turn your pinkies down. Exhale, drag your elbows back. And inhale, reach forwards. One more. Exhale, drag your elbows back. Inhale, reach forwards. And actually the last one, drag your elbows back. Then press your hands alongside your lower ribs. Tuck your toes. Press your hips back to your heels. And gaze forwards. Active child's pose. Come forwards, untuck your toes, and sit back onto your heels. Rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and just drop into being fully aware of your experience right now. Become an observer and let go of any judgment. Let everything be exactly as it is and just notice it and see it for what it is right now. When you're ready, come to stand at the top of your mat. Have your feet hip distance apart and parallel. Keep a slight bend in your knees and check that your hips are over your heels, your shoulders are over your hips, and your head is in line with your shoulders. Turn your palms forwards and open across your chest. Take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. With your inhale, raise your arms alongside your ears and turn your pinkies forwards. Bring your ribs back down, your lower ribs, if they just flared out, tuck them back down towards your pelvis. And then with your exhale, sink your hips back. Look down and check that you can see your toes, and if you can't, draw your knees back a little bit. Check that your knees are pointed in the same direction as your feet. And really engage, tucking your tailbone, engage through your core. Inhale. With your exhale, bring your fingertips in front of your feet. Keep a generous bend in your knees and fold forwards, bringing your belly towards your thighs. Inhale. Bring your hands onto your shins and come up to a flat back, keeping a slight tuck in your chin. And exhale, bring your hands back down onto the ground and step your right foot to the back of the mat. Sink your back knee and root down through your left heel to rise up. Bringing your hands and your arms alongside your ears, spinning your pinkies forwards for low lunge. If your right knee is really uncomfortable on the ground here, you can put your cushion underneath it. Stay really active in your legs by drawing your legs towards each other. And breathe. Bring your hands in front of your left foot and step your back foot to meet your front foot. Keep a generous bend in your knees. Bring your hands onto your hip points. And engage in your core. Draw your belly button back towards your spine to lift you up. Using a flat back to standing. Turn your palms forwards and root down through your feet. Inhale, bring your arms alongside your ears, spinning your pinkies forwards, and with your exhale, sink your hips back to sit as though you're sitting into a chair for chair pose. Checking that you can see your toes and that your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. Drawing your lower ribs back down towards your hip points. Exhale and bring your hands onto the ground, keeping a generous bend in your knees and bringing your belly to your thigh. Inhale, come up to a flat back, your hands onto your shins. And exhale, bring your hands back down onto the mat again and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Sink your left knee and root down through your right heel to rise you up to low lunge. Really draw your feet towards each other to be active here and tuck your tailbone under. And this will make you feel the stretch a lot more in your left hip flexor in the front of your left thigh. Bring your hands in front of your right foot. Raise your back knee and step your left foot to meet your right foot at the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your hip points and using your core, rise up to standing. Opening your palms forwards, keeping a slight bend in your knees. And take a breath here. Inhale. And take a sigh, exhale if you need one. Inhale, raise your arms, bringing your arms alongside your ears. And exhale, sit back to chair pose. Inhale. And exhale, sit down a little bit further if you can, if you want to challenge yourself. Inhale, sustain. And exhale, bring your hands to the ground in front of your feet. Inhale, come up to a flat back, keeping a tuck in your chin. Exhale, bring your hands back down again and step your right foot to the back of the mat. Sink your back knee and root down through your left heel to rise you up to low lunge. Draw your feet towards each other. Tuck your tailbone under and breathe. Inhale. With your exhale, bring your hands in front, your fingertips in front of your left foot. Raise your back knee up and check that your left knee is over your left heel, root down into your left heel, and use your core to rise up to high lunge. Tuck your tailbone under by bending your right knee to give you space to tuck your tailbone under again, and then press back through your heel. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to frame your front foot and walk your hands around towards the right, towards the long edge of your mat. Bring your toes to turn in towards you a little bit. Your feet are about 3 or 4 feet apart. And keep a straight back, keep a slight bend in your knees. And with your exhale, fold down. Remember, it doesn't matter what this pose looks like, it just matters what the sensations and what you feel. So notice, what do you feel here? You can have your goals, but know that when you reach your goals, there will always be another goal. So instead, what's more beneficial is just to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy the process. Inhale and come up to a flat back. And exhale, fold once more. Check that the weight is evenly distributed between your toes and your heels. Inhale, come up to a flat back again. Keep a bend in your knees. Root down through the outer edges of your feet. And bring your hands onto your hips. Keeping your core active, flat back. Drawing your belly button towards your spine. And from there, rise up. Turn your left toes forwards to point towards the top of your mat. And check that your feet are in a heel-to-heel alignment and that the back edge of your right foot is in line with the back edge of your mat. Check that your front knee is over your front ankle and that you can see your big toe. If you can't, turn your left knee out further towards your left pinky toe. Face the long edge of your mat again and bring your arms up, one pointed forwards and one pointed back. And if it's comfortable on your neck, gaze towards your front hand. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Really active and engaged in your legs, drawing your legs towards each other. Inhale. And with your exhale, sweep your hands forwards to frame your front foot. Turn your back heel up and step your back foot to meet your front foot hip distance apart in parallel. Bring your hands to your hip points, bend your knees, and come up with an engaged core to standing. Open your palms forwards. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, raise your arms up alongside your ears. And with your exhale, sink your hips back. Check that your knees are back so you can see your toes and your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. Inhale. And if you want to challenge yourself, try and sink a little bit deeper. Sustain here. With your exhale, bend forwards, bring your hands down in front of your feet. Inhale, come up to a flat back, hands to shins, tuck your chin. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Sink your left knee and root down through your right heel to rise up to low lunge. Really draw your feet towards each other and be active here. Tuck your tailbone under. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands in front of your left foot and raise your back knee, your left knee. Stay here. Check that your right knee is over your right ankle. And really root down through your right heel to rise up using your core to high lunge. Bring your arms alongside your ears and turn your pinkies forwards. Bend your left knee so that you can tuck your tailbone under and then press your left heel back. And this will really bring the stretch into your front hip flexor. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to your front foot. And walk your hands around towards the left, towards the long edge of your mat. Turn your toes so that they're pointed in slightly. And root down through the outer edges of your heels, the outer edges of your feet. Keep a slight bend in your knees, and keep a flat back. Inhale. With your exhale, fold here. Just noticing what you feel. Inhale, come to a flat back. And exhale to fold. Inhale to a flat back. Keep a generous bend in your knees now, rooting down into the outer edges of your feet, and bring your hands to your hips. Really use your core, draw your belly button towards your spine and slightly up, and rise up, pivoting at your hips to standing. Turn your right toes forwards and check that your feet are in a heel to heel alignment. Check that the back outer edge of your left foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat, and check that your left knee is over your left ankle. Check you can see your left toe, and if you can't, turn your left knee out slightly by wrapping your outer right hip under. Turn to face the long edge of your mat again. Bring your arms up, one forwards and one back. Draw your shoulder blades together and gaze towards your front hand if that's comfortable on your neck. Really magnetize your legs towards each other. Stay active here. Notice any quivers and just be with that. Lean into that and know that you're building strength. Inhale, and with your exhale, sweep your hands forwards. Spin your back heel up and step your back foot forwards to meet your front foot. Keep a generous bend in your knees, bring your hands onto your hip points, and with a flat back, rise up to standing, open your palms forwards. Keep a slight bend in your knees and root down through the whole of the soles of your feet. Really feel grounded and supported, and notice that point of contact with the ground. Feel steady here in this pose that's called mountain pose. Feel steady like a mountain. And just notice what you feel. Come down to sit onto your mat or onto the ground. Bend your knees and roll down slowly onto your back. Let your back really land here on the ground and really sink in and feel supported. Bend your knees and bring your knees in towards your chest. You can hold on behind the back of your thighs, or you can hold on just onto your shins, but keep the full length of your spine on the mat, on the ground, and you can just gently rock on your lower back if that feels good. You can take some circles with your knees if that feels good. And take full breaths, filling the full capacity of our lungs by inhaling deep into our belly, filling our ribs and the area below our collarbones. And exhaling fully and audibly, sighs. Bring your toes just onto the mat and shift your hips slightly to the left. Bring your knees back and towards you, and then drop both knees all the way to the right onto the ground, or you can bring them onto your pillows if you would like to. Press down through your elbows and shift your upper back further towards your head and let it drop back down. So bring more length into your spine. Reach your left hand out towards the left and let your head fall over towards the left. You can have your right hand onto your outer right knee and just take a gentle twist here in your spine. Inhale and exhale fully. Bring your knees back to center. Press down through your toes and shift your hips slightly to the right. Then bring your knees towards you and drop both knees over to the left, all the way onto the ground or onto your pillows. Reach your right arm towards the right and bring your gaze towards the right. You can press down through your elbows to shift your upper back up towards your head again to make more length in your spine if that feels good. Just notice what you feel. Become really curious about your body and what you feel, your sensations, and try and notice something maybe you haven't noticed before. Maybe the quieter sensations. Bring your knees back to center. And bring your knees in towards your chest again. And we're going to do a pose that's called Happy Baby. So we'll have 3 variations for this pose. You can hold behind your thighs again and just reach the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Or you can hold on to your shins with your hands, bringing your elbows to the insides of your knees and draw your knees down towards your armpits. Or the final option, if you have space for it, you can hold on to the outer edges of your feet and really press the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. But the thing that I want you to really prioritize, whichever variation you choose, is that your whole spine is on the ground. So there's a tendency for your lower back, the very base of your spine, to want to rise up off of the ground. So really press your lower spine into the ground. Really feel that connection, and then go to whichever variation you prefer. And maybe today that's a different variation from another day. Just be with that and allow that. You can take some rocks and some movements. You don't have to stay still. Babies don't often stay very still. So you can pretend to be a happy baby and rock from side to side if that feels good. And just release your legs now. Bend your knees and bring your knees into your chest. And this time, bring your forehead to your knees and wrap your arms around your shins and squeeze into the tightest little ball that you can. Really give yourself the biggest hug that you can. Hug yourself like you love yourself and you're proud of yourself for all the work that you've done in this practice today. Squeeze and then exhale. Release. Reach your legs out long. Take up space. Let your feet fall open to the sides. Let your arms be wide of your sides and the palms of your hands facing the ceiling. And just drop here. Just let go of all that you've done. Take a moment to really appreciate this stillness and this rest that you're giving yourself. Notice the points of contact between your skin or your body and the floor. And notice what those points feel like. Drop heavier in those places. Really feel like you're sinking into the floor and really feel like the floor is rising back towards you and supporting you here. Let go of any control of your breathing and just let your body breathe for you. Close over your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And just be fully here. Let go of any judgment. Let your thoughts come and go because it's fully natural to think, but try not to be carried away with your thoughts. Just become a non-judgmental observer and let everything just be. Take a deeper breath in and out. Start to bring some flickers of movement into your fingers and your toes. Start to stretch out more through your hands and your feet. As you inhale, reach your arms above your head and stretch out as long as you can. Stretching your hands away from your feet, and with your exhale, sigh and drop. Drop everything heavy exactly where it is. Bend your knees one by one. And roll over onto your right side. Just take a moment here, resting on your arm. Press down through your left hand. Let your head be heavy and walk yourself slowly up to find a comfortable seat. Have your hands anywhere you prefer. Have them on your thighs. And we'll take one full breath. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to notice how you feel at the end of your yoga practice. Be grateful and thankful for the things that your body does for you, and be proud of your choice to practice and move and breathe and be present, and make this choice for yourself and take this time for yourself. And thank you for practicing with me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.